This is a beautiful example of like adult men. It's hard to make adult friends, right?
Yeah.
We're all crippled by insecurities.
Yeah.
You're off being friends with Ryan. I'm sitting here going, wow, it looks like Ryan and Hugh are becoming really good friends. Like, obviously, I've been best mates with Ryan since we grew up.
Yeah.
Hugh like sounds really impressive. Like, I'm aware of his work. Seems like a really funny guy. He's shown no interest in expanding the group. So, cop it on the chin. Plenty more Hughs in the sea.
Go back to Archie's.
But it's certainly like everyone's just swirling around this thing. This probably happens all the time.
Yeah.
Even like the show I did at the convention centre that you came to the first time that
yeah.
Ryan ever heard me speak, it sort of meant a lot. I really wanted it to go well. And I thought, well, here's a problem. I was sitting in the green room going, I've got an issue here because probably everyone's favourite story is about when I met Hamish. And part of it is going, oh, I love Hamish Blade, incredible, blah, blah, blah. And then I'm like, well, I can't have Ryan hear me say that. And so I had this huge panic before going on stage and going, do I tell this story now? Or like, is it going to confirm all Ryan's fears?
Yeah.
So it's been I'm happy to have this discussion, I have to say.
This is great to clear the air. This is
to
really
be honest,
I don't have much to add, by the way. You guys good.
This is where I go, the main reason I want to be friends with Hugh was for Josh.
I still do have, and I wasn't sure whether I'd talk about this, but I do have a weird, I mean, we joked about me being a possessive friend, but there is a weird possessiveness that I do have with both of you in certain ways. And it's like, there's a Seinfeld episode about don't let your worlds collide, and there is part of me that, like, the thought of you two becoming friends, it worries me.
I would say that's a common feeling though, right? I would say you're probably not as alone as you think in that feeling. I can understand that feeling. I reckon adult friendships, you're like, oh, I feel, we get less of them as we go through life, or they become more and more special, and we know how valuable they are. Like, we know at the end of the day, like, your friends and family and your interpersonal relationships are really all you've got. And I think if you've got a special friendship, it's hard in terms of self-doubt. It's hard to, if you feel like that they see something in someone else that they don't see in you.
It's exactly that.
It's hard to swallow that because it challenges that feeling of specialness, because you start to get worried. And
it reinforces that self-doubt of like...
It helps that voice go, see, maybe not that great.
Like, I get stuck in my head about things like, oh, well, you guys both like cricket. You guys both like exercise. You're going to form this special bond, and then I'll be cut out because I can't provide you guys with enough of the stuff that you want in a friend.
Our brains, it's honestly, I cannot believe.
I'm glad I've said it now, but I'm also conscious of I don't want everything that I say vulnerably to be on the podcast. I don't want to make it like this thing that I save for good content, but it just, it is what it is now.
I got bad news for you. It is good content because I reckon
you mark it for a promo.
Got really bad news for you, mate. We sent it to the Green Guide, but it is. But it is.
All due respect to the Green Guide.
That's not still a thing, is it?
Of course it is.
I'm sure I have a podcast section. I haven't read it for years, but I reckon what you're saying is it is. I definitely am glad you said it on the podcast, because again, you never know who's listening to this to be like, oh, I felt like I felt like a bit of an idiot feeling that about my mates.
Yeah.
Because again, you look at how we are as kids. Like, I have a real strong memory of, like, remember in the playgrounds, I don't know if this is the same for you guys, but at primary school it was like, it's all about friend ranking.
Yeah.
It's like, you're my best friend, you're my second best friend. And you're like, oh, Nathan likes David more. Like, what?
Yeah.
Like, I thought I was first best friends with Nathan and David, and someone's cut you out.
Yeah.
It's a total human instinct that obviously never dies in us because we're social animals. And my guess would be, like, it's critical for us to feel like those social contracts are in place. And I'm sure a psychologist could give a much better explanation of this, but my guess would be it's just like, we have contracts in place with everyone in our life socially, and if they're threatened, that rocks our identity. Yeah. And on the other side of the fence, it's probably a good thing as friends to remember that, to tell the people in your life that you love that you do love them because they're them, and that's why you're mates with them. As I love you.
I love you.
So it's you don't, if I do want to talk about exercise, I've got Hugh, but there's lots of things that I can only talk to Rye about.
Yeah. I mean, mainly we just send each other post-exercise selfies.
We really did.
Yeah.
God, you'd be bored in our chats.
Well, no, I played mixed netball for a few years, so I'm sure I could rub shoulders with you guys.